We move through life heavily relying on what people tell us. We listen to explanations, we accept apologies, and we buy into beautifully crafted intentions. Relying on words is efficient, but it creates a blind spot where you see what you hope for rather than what is actually happening. It makes it possible to ignore a history of poor behavior because a current promise feels more reassuring. This occurs because of a biological preference for comfort. Processing reality takes effort and creates friction, while believing a well-told story provides immediate emotional relief. Your brain is hardwired to choose the path of least resistance. This drive for ease is the common thread between the external and the internal. It explains why you might believe a partner's promise of change despite their history of disrespect. And it is the same reason you believe your own late-night declaration that tomorrow you will finally start the work. To protect your time and your goals, you have to break your attachment to what people claim to intend. You must operate strictly on the measurable truth of what they actually do. Niccolò Machiavelli recognized that because human nature is layered and complex, individuals naturally construct a socially acceptable image to hide their true motives. He saw that appearances are tools used for protection and advantage. Manipulators often use language, charm, flattery, or guilt to influence your emotions and hide their track record. Once emotionally invested in a person's words, you stop noticing the contradictions in their actions. The counter-strategy is to become a quiet observer. You stop trying to lead the conversation and instead listen for what is left unsaid. You tune out the narrative someone is trying to sell you and focus entirely on how they move when they think they aren't being watched. Character is most visible under stress. When a situation becomes difficult, the energy to maintain it evaporates. Delays, failures, and pressure strip away the polished mask, revealing underlying traits like selfishness or emotional volatility. These traits often appear in small moments first. A manipulator tests your boundaries with minor disrespect to see what you will tolerate. Similarly, hidden envy often leaks through as a subtle passive-aggressive comment or a sudden coldness right after you achieve a win. Character appears most clearly in the absence of a reward. Watch how a person speaks to a waiter or a stranger who can offer them zero social or financial advantage. Those unobserved moments reveal more than any rehearsed performance ever will. External reality is not found in emotional promises. It exists solely in the consistent patterns of behavior that accumulate over time. But the matrix of reality must also be turned inward. The same mechanism that allows you to be misled by others is what allows you to deceive yourself every single day. Your brain views an ambitious goal as a biological threat. It sees the effort, the uncertainty, and the potential for failure as things to be avoided at all costs. To bypass that threat, your brain suggests a low-effort distraction. You pick up your phone, get a hit of dopamine, and the immediate discomfort of the work vanishes. Your brain learns that avoidance is the key to feeling safe. This is where perfectionism becomes a trap. It isn't a high standard. It is fear using logic to justify a delay. By convincing yourself that the conditions aren't perfect, you provide your brain a reason to never begin. Doing nothing feels safer than trying and missing the mark. As long as you stay in the planning phase, you can maintain the illusion that you would succeed if you only started. Inaction preserves your ego by protecting it from real-world testing. That failure provides data, whereas inaction provides nothing. Every successful person has failed more times than the person sitting on the sidelines has even tried. Inaction, not failure, is what prevents growth. Just as a manipulator uses charm to keep you from noticing their motives, your own brain uses the illusion of waiting to be ready to keep you in comfortable paralysis. When you stop valuing words over actions, you stop needing universal approval. You recognize that people who try to manipulate you often rely on your fear of being disliked, and you refuse to give them that leverage. You also abandon the reliance on motivation. Feelings are temporary and unreliable. Instead, you build consistency through small, disciplined actions, training your brain to handle friction rather than running from it. You gain an advantage when you learn to mentally step back, filtering out the noise of other people's flattery and the persistent, comfortable excuses your own brain uses to delay the work. Be aware that consuming more information is often just another form of avoidance. If you finish this video and do not take one specific action, you are still trapped in the same loop. Influence doesn't come from being the loudest in the room. It comes from unfiltered awareness of reality and the relentless, silent execution of a strategy.